There is 738,776,604 shares left. So we're going to head over to our holdings and we're going to see how Motorback is doing. Now, one other important thing is we look closely at where Motorback is operating out of in order to have a good cohesive relationship. So Motorback is primarily selling in Singapore, China, South Korea, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia. So even though we are selling some in South Korea and we are selling some in Japan and in China, as far as moving forward, especially since we have went on and signed on to adopt the new 1.9 liter V8 for our new upcoming Changfeng vehicles, we, number one, reinvested. So we went from approximately about 66 or so percent. Now we're back up to 67% ownership. Now, primarily, we wanted to look at this because and go over to shareholders. Glampit has a 2% interest in the company, and also the public as a whole or investors have 2% also. So, in order to not alleviate some of the or to decrease the amount of ownership, because we own Motorback pretty much outright. There is 700 and just over 738 million shares outstanding. So if we went to go purchase shares, to purchase everything, we would end up spending all of our cash flow. We cannot spend all of our cash flow because, number one, we have a lot of investments that we've already made into our vehicle lineup so that therefore we can satisfy the demand of our customers. So even though I do want to purchase some, which we did already, last month. So we don't want to purchase anymore. We're going to monitor this and see if Lampet purchases more, or if the investors or the public purchase more, because then that's going to throw up a flag. Because number one, we don't want to dilute our ownership too much because we are utilizing some of the components in some of our top tier vehicles. So which means that the relationship between Motorback and ourselves went from just purely financial to now there's a balancing act. There's two vehicles and an engine design that is being utilized. Plus, we're also to increase our competitiveness in the market. We have introduced a new Motorback 5-speed automatic transmission that's going to go in a lot of our base vehicles, and Therefore, the 6-speed Emerson is going to be a premium option if you're in Emerson Motors. If you're purchasing in a lower, like in the Bay, the base model Bay, A3 is going to utilize the 5-speed automatic. But we wanted to further separate that, so some of the other options give the customers the choice to either choose the 5-speed or choose the 6-speed or choose the 7-speed when it comes to the Bay. And for when you step up to the next tier, which is for the Essence, which is a mid-size luxury sedan, that there is only going to come with the 7-speed, and that's the same with the Cascade. Is only going to come with the 7-speed, and of course the flagship, a Point, only comes with the seven speed. So in order for a customer to get the 7-speed now, they used to be able to get it with the Bay, but now they have to step up to the Essence and above in order to get that. And that's further to try to establish a base, because majority of the vehicles that are being sold within the area um, are pretty low. So we're operating at a premium level with Allure, with some of the other niche players. We're borderline near luxury, luxury performance, and then Emerson is straddling the fence because there is some upside, there is some differentiation in the offerings, because the Coupe 2 Plus 2 is a premium offering from Emerson Motors, and then has a ultra premium which is with Emerson Performance, but there isn't an entry level, and we're still tossing around a smaller Coupe 2 Plus 2, but we have to wait to see what the numbers are going to come out to. Our prediction is that we're not going to see that much growth, that we're going to kind of balance out. We have an estimated tax that pretty much will take up every bit of our revenue that we just, or our cash flow that we just earned this last month. So, but we have an estimated expense of 53 billion. So, so to counter that a little bit, we opened up a new branch. As you can see, we opened up a new branch over in Spain, and hopefully with the new census reports and with the um, new policies that are in place, hopefully we'll be able to mitigate some of the any deficits that we could have had, because like we discovered that our we looked at our Emerson Motors pricing on our solar to bring it more in line with Changfeng. So it's not at a premium, it's priced a little bit lower, but the Solar S, which is the higher performance model, is pretty much in comparison with the Emerson, with the Changfeng E4, which is turning into the Electra base model, which is the Electro E4T. And that's pretty much because the E4 we got rid of because that had the wrong transmission. It went on sale with the wrong transmission in it. So we discontinued that, took it off the market, and upon looking at it, even though that was the more affordable model, we did not want to go down that low with Chung Feng, primarily because Emerson Motors fills that void below there. So we took that off the market, and we're not going to have another entry model until some of the other new batteries come online, which they're going to come online in the next 13 months, 14 months or so. And we have a lot of engines that are lined up also. And then we have the next generation for the Bentley. So the Solar. This is what the Solar looks like, but that's not the one that's on sale. That was one of the prototypes. They're fishing through most of this. So this is another prototype truck that we were going to do. And I think we are going to green light it because it would go up underneath, so it would make Emerson truck more of a premium. But last year we currently sold 79,000, just over 79,600. Well, we sold 79,649 total of the fully electric Solar. And customers are receptive of it, but of course they are pretty heavy, and they weren't that quick. So even though we're losing some money on the Solar, we are going to wait, I believe it's another 6 months for I believe the earliest one is 6 months. No. The earliest one is 13 months. So we're about a year out from a refresh. And of course, we discontinued some of the other models because we've been re-evaluating how we're operating on a regular basis. So this is pretty much the update. We're going to go on and save the files, and then we're going to move on to March 2019. Also, before we go into March, we had to renegotiate some of our contracts, our union contracts. So, primarily, when we brought back some of the branches or some of the factories online, and when we added new factories and added new branches, we renegotiated the agreement or the payment agreement or the wages for the area to bring it more in line. And I'm not for sure how we're going to reshape this because I'm not all that keen or comfortable, and it brings some concern that we have taken some of the wages or some of the income out of our staff. And it was during the time that they were on furlough or the plant was totally closed and they had left and went and got another job. So when we started recruiting people, we started recruiting them for certain facilities like Australia. We ended up going from just over 7,000 a month to 3,000 a month for the area. We're going to see how that pans out. We're going to monitor our quality and we're going to look at just how it overall affects sales, quality, and purchases. Because we may have to go back and renegotiate, but we renegotiated for the researchers. They're now paying in 2% of their wages to the funds. Of course, factory is paying none. Branches are paying 0.25. Marketing, we don't have any marketing staff at the moment, and the administration is paying 1% of their wages into the retirement fund. And between the four of those, the factory branch, researchers, and administration took a wage hit. So they gave back some of the wages, and in turn, we gave them a better retirement package. And we did the same thing with engineering. And as you can see, we have reduced some of the engineering staff because we were at 22,000 employees or staff members, employees, and that cost us roughly about $213,000 a month. So we decided, well, we're gonna double that. If doubling that would be 44,000 employees, staff members, and then the realization came in that we don't necessarily need all of those. We're going to test the waters and see how well we can perform without, because we do know that with 22,000 employees that majority of the work was not getting done. Majority of our projects were just at a standstill. So we thought with renegotiating the contract with the union, increasing staff. So we increased the staff. So we went from 22,000 to now 35,055. And then we renegotiated the wages. They were making just over 13,000 a month. Now they're making 10,956 a month. one of our major goals was to keep down storage costs, and we're starting to reduce that again. We still have a lot of furloughed employees, just over 21,000, just over 21 million. Oh, we're paying just over 21 million in furlough cost. So that's something that we're going to have to look at. We are profitable going into the first or completing the first quarter. So when we look at our quarterly report, we're making more this year. We're making quite a bit less income this year as opposed to last year's first quarter. We're paying less in taxes, less in operating profits, less expenses, and our labor has gone down. Our administrative wages have gone up. The cost of our sales have gone down, but our sales also have gone down. So we were selling 500, we were up to about 530,000. Now we're down to 505 sales. So we will have to 505,000. So we're going to have to reassess some of our pricing and come up with a different solution. Because we fluctuated a lot, but we need to find out whether or not if the fluctuation is because of some of the pay shifts, or we need to look at it whether or not if people are moving into areas that the new policies aren't taking effect yet, or there's more competition, which we can find that out by going here. So we have new competition from Belt, Orion, A&D, Dis, U, L, I, Majalia, Oakland, UV, UQV, T, CY, Servier, Sardine, Fargot, BW, and G272 autos. So Motorback had a gain, and we didn't staff our branch. And these adjustments did not go through. And also, while the list isn't exhaustive like the last list, Open it up to where it fits inside. And this one was more expansive. So we know that we're getting close to an equilibrium as far as what we can afford to pay and what the current output's going to be. So thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video.